Damsel just released on Netflix and it was a complete train wreck. The story is about a damsel called Elodie or Eddie or whatever, played by the British girl from Stranger Things who got hit on by Drake, which in hindsight is freaking insane. We get introduced to her when she is showing off to her sister by cutting wood and being all cool and girl boss and shit. She is the princess of this tiny little village, which has a hard time during the winter and everyone is starving. Because of this they need gold and money. So logically, the king decides to sell his daughter out for marriage. She reluctantly agrees for the good of all their people and they take the boats to go to another kingdom, which needs a bride for their throne prince. They sail by some fog and some huge imposing dragon statues. No one is even slightly bothered by this or even questions it. Ellie gets taken to a special room to get ready to meet this handsome prince. And her only worry is whether he likes books or not. A couple of hours later she meets Prince Henry and they get along swimmingly. Finally, it is time for the wedding, and they celebrate until something disrupts them. Henry explains that they must do an ancient ritual to join her in the family before they can get freaky. They go to the top of the mountain and everyone is wearing these creepy golden masks. Her mother-in-law explains that before their ancestors came to this fruitful island, there was a creature they had to make peace with. For this peace, they had to sacrifice 3 daughters to this creature, and this ritual is to pay respects to that event. Blood flows, hands are shaken, and the ritual is over, and the prince picks her up to go back to the castle, but stops halfway and throws her into a chasm. She fucking survives an insane drop on rocks and then she is greeted by a dragon. The next bit of the movie is her trying to escape the cave. She finds glowing bugs with healing powers, climbs through small holes, and she has to boulder a giant crystal cave to escape, with the eventual ending point of being in the exact same spot that she started from. So that was just an enormous waste of time, even though it was by far the most fun part of this movie. Well, okay, she escapes and sees her dad going into the cave, and she goes back to save him, because now all of a sudden he feels bad for selling her for some gold. Her dad gets killed by the dragon as she watches, and we find out the true story. The dragon's 3 younglings were killed first by the royal family tons of centuries ago. Together they made a deal that the royal family must offer 3 girls to her in every generation. But the family found a loophole. By mingling the blood of the royal bloodline with random girls all over the world, they technically offer someone of that bloodline. Which just really makes me wonder. Why would you even pay for that if you could just use a sick or weak young girl within your kingdom? You live in the Middle Ages. Someone with the Black Plague who's going to die anyway is not hard to find. Alright, so the dad is dead, Elodie is sad, and she escapes the cave, only to find out that her sister is now getting sacrificed instead of her. Elodie attempts to save her and she goes out to fight this dragon. She survives and tells the dragon that she has been lied to, and as a result, she burns the whole kingdom to a crisp, and everyone dies. Elodie then does a goofy walk on the bridge, and they both live happily ever after. One thing that I did not like is that they tried to lean into horror, without delving actually into horror. In this film we see a couple of corpses and we get a couple of jumps. We also get the fear factor from an attempt at claustrophobia, but the movie does not completely commit. That annoys me, it is like the movie had an identity crisis in the middle there. A positive note is that the basic idea of this movie is really cool. The core that a girl gets married to a very charming prince, but she gets offered and has to escape in this horror-esque arc, where she gets chased by a dragon all the time is very interesting. And the fact that she wants revenge on this family for doing this to her and countless other girls is also a neat touch. But the movie is just written in the most corny and stupid way. The dialogue is weird and the people in the story just seem so flat, with the exception of Elodie, but this was mainly due to Millie Bobby Brown, who was just excellent in this film, even when she was being obstructed by AI written lines, which just really messed with the film. The first 30 minutes of exposition are just so stupid and rough to get through. Then you get a really cool part in the second act only for the ending to be stupid again. It is such a shame. Thank you for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please leave a like or perhaps subscribe. And as always, have a very pleasant day.